welcome back to Seek the Joy podcast. Happy Seek the Joy Tuesday. Happy, it's not the summer solstice. Next week is the summer solstice, but happy almost summer. You know, lately, every time I think about summer 22, I get that song from Grease stuck in my head. It's like, summer lovin' had me a blast. Fun fact. Oh God, this is embarrassing. I was Sandy in Grease. I think I was Sandy once, and another time I was Patty Simcox. Like, I loved performing in like musical theater as a kid. I think I pretty much have a terrible singing voice, and I'm not the most coordinated when it comes to dancing. So I'm really not sure what they were thinking casting me as Sandy, but I love musical theater and musical comedy. And sometimes I think about that girl who would get up on stage and sing and dance and perform. And I just ask, who was she? Like the bravery, like the courage. I'm pretty sure I was shaking in my boots the whole time. But anyway, every time I think about summer 2022, I think about that song, that line from Grease. And I think it's because I'm just so ready for this season where it's warmer out and it feels slightly more carefree. However, I don't know how carefree of a summer it's actually going to be. I am just really looking forward to this new season. And with a new season comes an opportunity to really, I think, ground into the present moment, be present with yourself, with your friends, your family, your loved ones, be present with your own joy, which sounds like so cliche of me to say on this podcast, but I think it's so true. And it's also a really wonderful opportunity to set intentions for this new season. I am so looking forward to the summer sun. Also, I am very much into right now the whole coastal grandmother aesthetic. I was telling my sister like a month or so ago, like, I am pretty sure I was born to like be in this coastal grandmother, something's gotta give, Diane Keaton like world. Like I just love it. Like I am so here for it. And I think I'm really just excited for everything that this new season will bring. And I think if I reflect on the last year, if I reflect on where we were this time last year, in many ways, you know, the world was just starting to open back up again. And we were returning to, at the time, what felt like a sense of normalcy. And I just remember being in this space of like, okay, I've received my first dose of the vaccine. I was excited. I was overwhelmed. I was definitely ambivalent. And there was a huge part of me that was sitting in the space of uncertainty about what does this all mean? And there was so much pressure around returning to quote unquote normal. And I felt like, how am I going to continue to preserve these new boundaries and things I enjoy doing and tap into my own self-care, which admittedly has been a challenge in 2022, and also get back out there and see friends and enjoy the moment, enjoy the season. And it's something I'm thinking about as we enter summer 2022 as well. And truthfully, self-care, boundaries, and routine, those are three things that I am constantly working on and constantly navigating. And I know I am not alone in that. It's so funny because I was thinking about the first episode that aired on the podcast this year, and it was all about self-care intentions for this new year. And as we hit the 6-month mark of 2022, I've really made the choice to focus this summer on prioritizing doing the things that make me really happy. And part of that is recognizing that I have to be okay with saying no to things that don't excite me, that don't bring me joy. It means being okay with creating my own pace, being okay giving myself grace. That just accidentally rhymed, and I'm totally here for it. And it also means being okay with taking a step back in areas of my life that I think deserve rest, relaxation, reflection, and time away. And I really want this summer to be a time of greater fun and creativity. I was thinking about it, like this year has just felt so serious for me. And I would love the next 3 months to be like a time to be silly and explore and tap into my own self-expression and to play. I was thinking today about our summer series that went live last year, and there was something that Cara Latta said in one of our sessions, because that was all about tapping. Her session was all about tapping into play. She talks so much about how play is such a powerful tool to help us decrease stress and increase our sense of joy. but how often do we allow ourselves to really tap into that play? And so this summer, I am just so confident when I say, like, I know this has to be true for everyone. We need more play. We need more of it. At the start of this year, I created a list of like fun things that I really wanted to do in 2022, and it's been a lot of fun. I have been slowly crossing off different things off of that list, and it's allowed me to explore places and things that I had never done before. So like before this year, I had never been to an estate sale. And now I'm like actively seeking out estate sales almost like every week. Well, maybe like every other week. It is so interesting to go and like you wait in line to get in, and the people you meet and you talk to, and just exploring this home and their different like items and tchotchkes. And I've gotten so many beautiful things for my home from these estate sales. And I've gone to like one like show, like speaking of musical theater, I went to Hadestown twice in May, and I saw Tootsie in April, and I've got plans to see more shows this summer, and I've been to, I love museums, and with the pandemic, with COVID, like I was really like missing out on my museum fix, and so I'm trying to hit like every museum in my city this year. And so anyway, I made this list, and it includes like museums and shows and coffee shops I really want to check out, and different places around town that I've either been to or never been to before. And it's been sort of life-changing to create a list like that and slowly work my way through it, and being intentional about when I go and where I go. And it's all about like just having fun and exploring something new, and also being okay with saying like, I don't feel like spending more time here, or I don't feel like doing this today, and giving myself that permission in the moment too. So if this is something that sounds cool and appealing to you, I would totally encourage you to create a list like this for yourself too. And it can even be like a list of things you want to do this summer. I started making a list. So going back to the coastal grandmother aesthetic thing, that's like been a big trend all over TikTok. And I found some really cool like Spotify playlists. I made a list of movies that I want to watch this summer. Some I've seen, some I haven't, that like really fit that sort of like When Harry Met Sally, something's gotta give vibe. And I'm excited to like work my way through and really enjoy like immersing myself in this world that either like Nora Ephron or Nancy Meyers has created. And I keep finding like different like coffee shops and places that like just seem like a fun place, new things to try. So I would totally encourage you to think about, you know, maybe a handful of things that you would really love to do or immerse yourself in this summer. Like, oh my God, okay, thought that like I had the other day, I don't know what, this is like a stream of consciousness type of episode. How fun would it be like every Sunday to pick a new recipe from like the Barefoot Contessa or anybody, and just cook it and do something different, like change up what your routine looks like on a Sunday. I don't know, just feels like it could be kind of fun. So those are really, I think, my intentions for the summer season, is to really enjoy the moment and do things that bring me joy and excite me, and allow myself to keep learning and exploring and understanding how I really want to navigate this season of life. And I mentioned this earlier, part of this time for me also means being okay with stepping away from certain things in my life. And so I have made the decision that throughout July, August, I think just July and August. So starting actually next week, I am not going to be airing any brand new episodes on the podcast throughout the summer. Instead, I've got a plan. I'm going to share with you a couple of things. One, I've had the amazing opportunity and pleasure to be a guest on so many podcasts over the last like 5 years or so. And I cannot tell you how much that has meant to me, because it's been such an awesome byproduct, like an unexpected result of having a podcast, having this platform, having stories of inspiring joy and Joy Corner. I never expected that I would go on someone else's podcast and talk about my journey and my story and the inspiration behind Seek the Joy. And so there have been countless podcasts that I've been on, and I really wanted to share some of these episodes and conversations and these podcasts with you. So throughout the next couple of months, you're going to hear some of those episodes. And my hope and my intention is that through tuning in to these episodes, they're going to pop up on your feed as like a guest episode where I'm a guest on someone else's podcast. My hope is that you'll just find some new podcasts to add to your queue, check out some hosts that are just incredible at what they do. And if you're curious in general about what other podcasts I've been on, you can head on over to the press page on our website, seekthejoypodcast.com/press. But I gotta say, like, the opportunity to connect with other incredible podcasters, to learn from them, to connect with them, to spotlight one another has just been like it's just been such an unexpected and wonderful byproduct of having the podcast. So you'll hear a couple of those episodes. And then in addition, I really wanted to share on the podcast, finally, all of our sessions from Seek the Joy Summit. So Seek the Joy Summit went live in April 2021. It was an incredible day. I still feel like I'm on a high every time I think about it. It was a one-day virtual retreat where we shared really empowering conversations and powerful conversations and sessions on mindfulness, finding our joy, choosing positivity, stepping into our authentic voice, and the importance of sharing our story. There were 5 sessions total, and it was just an incredible day filled with opportunities to connect, to inspire, to grow together. And so if you attended the summit, I'm so looking forward to you having the opportunity to tune into these sessions once again. If you didn't, and this is going to be your first time, I am even more excited for you to hear these sessions as well. So in July and August, I'm going to be sharing all 5 sessions from Seek the Joy Summit. I am so thrilled to finally be able to share these on the podcast. So you'll have a mix of Seek the Joy Summit sessions, guest episodes where I was on someone else's podcast, and then next week is the summer solstice. And I was so enthralled and loved everything about our summer series. And you guys loved it too, and the response was incredible. I'm going to be sharing one of our sessions from Seek the Joy Summer next week on the podcast. And my hope is that this session that I'm going to be sharing will just inspire you to tap into your joy this summer. And if you want to hear any and all of our sessions from Seek the Joy Summer, just head them back on, wherever you're listening right now, go back to Seek the Joy Podcast, scroll back in the feed all the way to July and August, and I think September of 2021, and you can tune into all of those sessions there. So, to recap, starting next week through August, you'll have the chance to hear our sessions from Seek the Joy Summit, some guest appearances on other podcasts, and an incredible session from Seek the Joy Summer. Throughout the summer, while I won't be sharing new episodes, new conversations on the podcast, Joy Corner and Stories of Inspiring Joy will run as usual. I won't be posting on social media as much on Seek the Joy podcast because I'm really hoping to pull back a little bit and use this time to really rest and reflect and take stock and inventory, especially as we approach the 5-year anniversary of Seek the Joy podcast. So I won't be super active on social media, but you can always connect with me via email, Sydney@seekthejoypodcast.com. And honestly, I don't think I've ever shared this on the podcast before, but you can always connect with me on my personal Instagram @SydneyAW as I continue to cross off different things on my list, both for the summer and this year. And, I think it's so important to remember that as we enter a new season, whether it's summer, fall, winter, or spring, rest really allows us to find joy in new spaces. And I just wish that and so much more for you in this new season. So there's construction outside, and I think that is my cue to wrap this up. As always, I would love to hear what you thought about this episode, about the podcast, about your intentions for the summer, what you're looking forward to. Do you have a big trip plan? Let me know. Let's connect on our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We are @Seek the Joy Podcast everywhere. As you know, I produce this podcast all by myself. It is a solo labor of love. And so I would so appreciate any rating and review you can give on on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's such a great way for people to learn about the podcast And I think give them a little taste of what Seek the Joy podcast is all about. So when you leave that rating or review, take a screenshot, send it to Sydney at seekthejoypodcast.com. I will send you something to say thank you. I think that's it. Like starting next week, you'll hear a session from Seek the Joy Summer, and then we're going to dive into our guest episodes as well as sessions from Seek the Joy Summit. I think this is going to be a really wonderful summer. I am so looking forward to it. And with that, wishing you just a wonderful summer filled with opportunities for connection, for joy, for fun, to be silly, to play, to tap into your own self-care, exercise your own boundaries, and just have a lot of fun and enjoy this season. So with that, I will see you right back here next week for another Seek the Joy Tuesday. Seek the Joy podcast is a production of Seek the Joy Media and created, produced, and hosted by me, Sydney Weiss. You can tune into all of our episodes on your favorite podcast platform, and if you're enjoying the show, hit follow and leave us a 5-star rating and review. Make sure to join the community, join the conversation on our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We are at Seek the Joy Podcast everywhere, and don't forget, you can actually watch today's new episode and all of our episodes on our brand new YouTube channel. Click that link in the show notes to subscribe and tune in. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you right back here next week for another Seek the Joy Tuesday.